I'm going to attempt to repair this $1,500 Magic the Gathering card. I picked up this copy of Candelabra of Thanos from a convention recently for $650. Looks like in pretty great condition, except, I don't know if you can notice, if you look at the edges here, we got a lot of Sharpie all the way around the edge of the card. You can see a daub right there of Sharpie. So it is considered inked and therefore damaged. This is one of the prettiest damaged cards you'll ever see. In fact, if I can get this Sharpie off, it might be just lightly played, which would bring the price up to like double. So we're going to attempt to remove that Sharpie. I've seen 2 different ways to do this online, and I'm going to attempt both methods. However, we're not going to practice them on the actual Candelabra of Thanos. This is going to go back in the sleeve until we figure out which version works better. Instead, we're going to test these out on this copy of Flight. I sharpied it up so that way we can do a little testing on the 2 methods and see if we can get this Sharpie off, and if so, try to get that Sharpie off. Let's do this. One of the methods that I've seen people use is an Expo marker. Apparently, if you use an Expo marker over the Sharpie and then erase the Expo marker, it'll take the Sharpie with it. So let's give that a whirl. I'm going to start with the eyes on the smiley face. And I got a Q-tip here. Let's see what happens. Okay, that worked significantly better than I expected it to work. Wow. Yeah, those eyes are basically gone. Like, there's still a little bit of a residue on there, but wow. Like, I am actually shocked by that. Okay, who would have thought that would work? Maybe if we go over it again, we'll be able to get the rest of it off. Wow. This makes me feel way better about that Candelabra purchase now, because this is just coming right off. I did go way too hard on it though, because as you can see, there's a little bit of an indentation there now. So we gotta go softer. Don't want to damage the Candelabra. So let's try to go a little lighter. We're gonna go and erase some of this right here now. Wow, it just comes off like with the Expo marker itself. This is incredible. So now if I go lightly, yeah, I mean that works really well. So we're going to now test the edging, because this is where all of the issue is on the Candelabra. So if I'm going to try to Expo marker off on the edge there. Don't really want to get Expo marker on the playmat, so we grab a little paper towel. We're going to be doing the edge. I grabbed another Expo marker. Hopefully this one has some more juice in it. And let's see what this does. So it's just on the edge here. Let's try this out. And look at that. It's white again. I did it also on the actual edge to test that. I mean, so it already removed a decent amount. And if you look at it on the edge, it actually took it off of the edge there. So there's a non-zero chance I'm able to get this thing totally cleaned off with just using Expo markers, which is crazy to me. It might not be perfect, but it does a good job, especially compared to what it was to what it is now. So that's pretty promising. Let's try method number 2. To do that, I gotta go somewhere that's not in my basement because we need some ventilation. For this method, we're going to be using nail polish remover, aka acetone. I'm a little more worried about this one because it could probably damage the card more. But we're going to test it out. I'm just pouring a little bit out so that way I can not have to deal with the bottle because that thing's almost empty. So we got a little bit of acetone right in here. and the trusty Q-tips. So let's see how these do. I should probably also grab a paper towel. All right, so first we're gonna try the U here. Let's see if this can get the U off. I mean, it's slowly removing it, but it is nowhere near as effective. Now let's try paper toweling that. Like, very smudgy, not super effective here. This is really the method I thought was going to work better. Oh, okay, it's starting to pick it up a little bit. I just gotta make sure I don't use too much force on it. That's the hard part here. It seems like this wants some elbow grease. Can't really give it elbow grease if I don't want to actually damage the card. This I'm more worried about being able to strip the actual paint on the card as well. That would be very not ideal. Oh, okay, that worked really well right there. Okay, so it's coming up. It's definitely coming off. It's a much slower process. Let's see what happens if we use it on the side here. Doesn't seem to be able to get the last of the sharpie off of that. And doesn't seem to do too well on the edges. So I will say this does work for the surface. It just doesn't seem as effective as the Expo marker. So I think that if I want to get the Sharpie off of the candelabra, the Expo marker might be the way to go. So we're going to give that a whirl. All right, so one thing I do want to note here is I bought this card as if it was damaged. I paid damaged prices for this. So, with that in mind, if I do end up damaging the card instead of helping the card by trying to remove the inking on the edging, then it's still damaged. Either way, it's a damaged card, so I don't have as much to lose. That's just a little disclaimer in case anything bad happens here. So we're going to start this off, and we're going to go from that little dot right there. We're going to start with that little dot. Oh, I hate this. I absolutely hate that I'm doing this. Okay. Alright, now it's a much bigger dot. And moment of truth. The dot is gone. You can see very faintly maybe some residue from it, but I think that this is going to work. Take a look at that. It's gone. There's a gap in the inking there. You can see the gap where the light's just not reflecting the ink. This I think will work. All right, so I'm going to do a little fast forwarding here so you guys are going to be able to watch me clean in not real time because otherwise it's going to take forever because I got to take this a little slowly and delicately. All right, so I just finished going over the front, and you can't really see where the Sharpie even was before. Like, there's some very minor indications of there having been Sharpie on this card, but compared to before, like, you can't see it. Like, this corner had a big splotch in there, which is now completely gone. That dot that was down there is no more. You can, if in the right lighting, you can see where it was, but it's not there anymore. That is incredible. All right, so now it's time to take care of the back. So on the back, we got some stuff up here. See if I can get it to look right in the camera. A little bit there. A lot down on this bottom edge. This bottom edge has a lot. You can see that. And this side, not so much. The bottom edge is by far the worst on the back side. So let's take a look at that. Yeah, that looks significantly better. Wow. I mean, the rest of the back doesn't have that much inking at all. Like, there's a little bit you can see on that edge. A little bit on here. Let's try the top edge. There's a little bit on the actual edge itself. It's about the best we're gonna get on that edge. But compared to how it looked before, like, that got rid of all of, like, the easily visible surface Sharpie. Like, now this thing looks much cleaner. Wow, look at that. So if you end up with any cards in your collection that's got Sharpie on them because somebody decided, I'm going to make it look better by putting some Sharpie on the edge to get rid of some of the whiting. If you just use an Expo marker, you can get off a very significant amount of it, and the card looks undamaged from this. Like, this seems to have worked perfectly. Maybe there's a little more inking to get off, but it's not doing any damage to the card. It's helping to restore the card. Beautiful. All right, so that is one way that you can remove Sharpie from your cards. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Peace out, everybody.